All right, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Now, enjoy this video. Okay, we're back for week 13 of 5 NFL thoughts. As you know, every single week I give you 5 NFL thoughts from that particular week. Let's jump right into it with thought number 1. Something is wrong with Lamar Jackson. There has to be. Since that hamstring injury, he has not looked the same. Now, yes, they went on a 5-game winning streak before losing to the Bengals this week, but he has not looked the same. He has not looked like the explosive, make plays out of nothing Lamar Jackson that we've come accustomed to. He has not looked like that guy at all. He's also missing throws that you rarely see him miss anymore, especially from last year. Like, he never missed throws that he was missing against the Bengals. He just looks off. Turnovers, being sloppy with the football, turning the ball over, you never see him do that. Like, something is definitely wrong with Lamar Jackson. He is not performing like we know he can perform. He has to be hurt. There's no other way around it. He has to be. Because he is not playing like Lamar Jackson. He is not playing like the Lamar Jackson we know. And the only way and the only reason why he isn't is because he's hurt. He has to be. Because this Lamar Jackson is not the Lamar Jackson that I know. He is not playing like the Lamar Jackson that last year was probably the best player in the world. By a pretty wide margin. He was playing on another level. And that guy has just not shown up this year. Mainly since the hamstring injury. Before the hamstring injury, he was playing at a pretty high level still. But since that injury, he has not played like Lamar Jackson. And they were winning games, but they weren't winning because of their offense. Their offense has been horrible. And to me, it comes down to Lamar. If Lamar is not Lamar Jackson, the guy we know, this offense isn't that great. This offense doesn't have a lot of threats outside Lamar. Lamar makes those guys threats because of what he can do. And if he is not who we know he is, then this offense is just average. I'm very curious to watch Lamar Jackson the rest of the year and see if he is actually hurt or what. I'm very curious to watch him the rest of the season and see what happens. Thought number 2. I thought Shedeur Sanders looked good in his second start. I really did. But I want to see the Cleveland Browns. You are now 3-9 after the loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Open up the offense. Let this kid rip it. Let him cut it loose. I felt like against the 49ers, they were kind of babying him a little bit. They weren't opening it up and letting him just go to work. Who cares? Let him show what he can do a little bit. It doesn't matter. You're not going to the playoffs. Open up the offense a little bit. See what you have in Shedeur Sanders. He should be starting the rest of the year. I think Kevin Stefanski came out and said he's starting at least next week, but he should be starting the rest of the year. No way Dillon Gabriel should see the field again unless it's for injury. Shedeur Sanders is clearly better than Dillon Gabriel. To me, I don't even know why Dillon Gabriel was starting over Shedeur Sanders. Now, I get it. He was a 3rd-round pick. Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round pick. But Shedeur clearly has more talent. Now, I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is going to be the best thing in the world or even close to it. I think he can be a solid backup, and we'll see where he goes from there. Right now, I think he's a solid backup. But I'm interested to see his development. I want to see him develop the rest of the season. I want to see the Browns open up the playbook a little bit. I want to see what he can do with not great talent around him. Can he elevate some of these guys who aren't elite players, maybe? Can he take these guys a step above of what they're used to? That's what I'm curious to watch. It's not like he has a ton of talent around him. He doesn't. So let's watch. And I want to see Kevin Stefanski open up this playbook and make him the starter the rest of the year. Let's open up this playbook, make him the start of the rest of this year, and see what you have in Shedeur Sanders. Thought number 3. Watching the Steelers in big games is so frustrating. It is. It's so frustrating. Because you get so hyped at the beginning of the season to watch the Steelers because they're good, their defense is playing well, their offense is playing well, and then the moment they get in big games against really good teams, like they were against Buffalo on Sunday, their offense struggles to score points. Their offense struggles to move the football consistently. It is one of the most frustrating things to watch. I don't know why. Their offense is lacking juice. It's lacking playmakers on the outside. This offense needs change. And it needs big-time change. It needs to add playmakers on the outside. The only guy that I actually like on the Steelers' offense is Jaylen Warren and the tight end Washington. Other than that, the DK Metcalf trade to me is not a very good trade. It's not looking like a great trade. You traded away George Pickens, and George Pickens right now looks like maybe the best receiver in football, at least for this season. The Steelers' offense is a problem, and until that gets fixed, I don't see the Steelers winning a Super Bowl at all. You cannot win 16-10 games consistently. Now, the defense hasn't been better. They haven't been great this season either. So they don't get a pass. But just year after year after year, it's always been this offense under Mike Tomlin. And I love Mike Tomlin. Great coach. But this offense is not good enough to win Super Bowls. It's not good enough in playoffs or in big games when you actually have to score. When games aren't going to be 16-10 and you actually got to score 20-plus points on offense to win, and you can't do it. And it's happened time and time and time again to the Steelers' offense. Doesn't matter who they bring at quarterback. They had Russell Wilson last year. They have Aaron Rodgers this year. It doesn't matter. This whole structure of offense needs to change. They need to go get playmakers in the draft or free agency or trade for one or whatever and get more explosive and just modernize this offense. That's what they have to do to take the next step and win some of these big games against these good teams and these good offenses. Because you're not going to be able to beat these good offenses winning 16-10. That's not today's NFL. It doesn't work like that. Thought number 4. The Indianapolis Colts are such an interesting team to me. Because they started the year strong, 8-2, riding high, rolling, number 1 offense. Looked like they couldn't be stopped. And now the last 2 weeks against the Chiefs and against the Texans, they've struggled a little bit on offense. They haven't looked as explosive. Jonathan Taylor hasn't ran crazy on those two teams. And this is what's going to happen to the Colts. And I'm so curious to watch them down the stretch. When teams shut off Jonathan Taylor and you don't get to just run the ball consistently and he's not running for 200 yards, and Daniel Jones has to become a consistent drop-back passer, how does this team look? That's what I'm curious to watch. Because now we're here now. Now teams are starting to figure out the blueprint. The Chiefs did it where they shut down Jonathan Taylor and they made Daniel Jones beat them. The Texans did it and they try to make Daniel Jones beat them. Now, I'm not saying Daniel Jones played bad in either game. He didn't. But they're showing you that they don't believe Daniel Jones can beat them. Teams are showing you they don't believe Daniel Jones is good enough to consistently beat them from the pocket. So I'm very curious to watch the Colts the rest of the season. I'm curious to see how they approach this. How does Daniel Jones approach this? Is he good enough? Has he improved enough since his New York Giant days to take this next step? I'm curious to watch. Thought number 5. There is so much parity right now in the NFL. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it in the past probably 5 years at least, where I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. Just last week I was talking about the Rams and how the Rams are the best team and the Rams are the clear-cut best team, and then they go out on Sunday and lose to the Carolina Panthers. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, who's the favorite? Who's the favorite in the NFC? I guess you would still say the Rams, but the Eagles maybe have the most talent. And then who is it in the AFC? I thought it was the Chiefs, but then the Chiefs lost to the Cowboys. Is it the Bills? Is it the Patriots? Is it the Broncos? Like, who is the favorite in each conference? Or who is the overall favorite to win the Super Bowl? I just don't know. It's one of those weird years where I don't know who the favorite is. I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. And I think it's great for NFL fans where for the first time in a while, we don't know who's making the Super Bowl. And I think it's going to set up for a crazy finish in this NFL season. But that's my 5 NFL thoughts. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and have an awesome day.